Hey everyone, it's Shubb, and welcome back to Titanfall 2, except this time I'm actually not going to be talking about Titanfall 2 very much. I'm going to be talking about this game called Empulse. So, Empulse is a movement shooter developed by 1047 Games. They're the guys that made Splitgate 1 and Splitgate Arena Reloaded. It's a 6v6 game, it's got wall running, it's got jetpacking, it's got effectively Titans, it's got a grapple look too. Come here, buddy. I see you! Oh, I am awful. I haven't played Titanfall in like a week or so. Dude, this guy is so loud. Holy crap. I was in an early playtest for the game just a few hours ago, and I kind of wanted to give my general thoughts on it. Now, I was under an NDA, so I couldn't actually record any gameplay or stream any of this to you guys or take any screenshots, but I can tell you all that I know about the game, so that's what I'm going to do. After I recorded this, 1047 also gave me some official B-roll of Empulse to show you while I talk about my thoughts on the game. I'll be going in and out of this in my Titanfall 2 footage as I speak. Again, this is really early footage of the game. Some things or everything might change by the time you see this video and by the time early access goes live. Thank you 1047 for inviting me to the playtest, and I hope I get to play this game again really soon. So, in terms of the visual identity of the game, it's supposed to be this kind of streets gangsta kind of look to it. Basically, all of your soldiers look like graffiti artists. That incentivizes the main equipment of the game, which is called paint. Guys, we are trying to just live and survive. Oh my god.
We are losing by a lot.
Wow. We're doing so bad. He just walked in with the flag. Good lord. Before I talk about the paint, though, I've got to talk about the movement, because that's the part of the game you're going to be interacting with the most. So, you've got to jump, you've got a jetpack, very similar to something like Black Ops 3, and if you played Splitgate, you'll know how that feels. Holy sh- You know what? I gotta leave this game. I'm so sorry, but dude, I can't deal with the voice chat today. Ah, pilots versus pilots. Perfect. This is pretty much exactly what I wanted to play. Good luck, guys. You can jump, you can jetpack, very similar to Black Ops 3 or Splitgate if you've played it. Holy aim. You can slide, and whenever you slide, you can actually move in any direction you want. You see how in Titanfall, when you slide, you're kind of just stuck in that direction? You can move your slide as you move around your stick. So you could, like, do a slide and then hang around a corner and be perfectly fine. No need to bunny hop or anything. You can also wall run. There are even walls in the game that are, like, circular in nature, and you can just kind of run along them to different sides. Kind of like this wall, where you can just kind of go along it at this angle. You can just walk all the way along. Now, what you can also do in the game is you can chain wall jump. Do you see how when I wall jump, I can't go directly back onto the wall? In Empulse, that delay really isn't there. You can just do a wall run, you can jump, you can go back onto the wall, you can jump again. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's different than Titanfall, but it's fine. You can also wall run backwards, which you can't do in Titanfall. So in Titanfall, you can kind of run forward, you can jump on the wall and kind of strafe back and forth like this, but you cannot run backwards. That is not the case in Empulse. You can run forwards, backwards, whatever you want. What you can't do, though, is you can't do this, like, wall strafing thing that I like to do, where you kind of jump with your back to a wall, and then you can strafe left and right. You can't do that in Empulse right now. I hope that they change that, though, because if they give us the ability to wall strafe like that, it's gonna be the cleanest wall running. Also, speed conservation is super easy in Empulse. If you are just crouch jumping, if you're hitting your wall jumps, you're gonna maintain your speed for a very long time, and it's gonna be amazing. Well, I think I've pretty much covered the movement of the game, so now let me go into the thing that helps out your movement even more, and that is paint. So I forget what the acronym of paint is, but effectively, they are like the fire stars in this game. So you'll throw your paint, it'll stick on the ground like this, and then whenever you walk into it, it'll give you different effects. One of them is a speed boost, one of them is a jump boost, one of them heals you, one of them damages things. It kind of works like a cluster grenade, if you ever use those, where it'll stay in one area and do a bunch of boom-boom-booms. There's also a sticky grenade, which is very cool. If you've ever used the honey block in Minecraft, I can't believe that's the analogy I'm using, but it kind of works like that, where if you land on the sticky, you will be stuck in it, and you can't do anything. It'll be kind of like this. And I think the paint is honestly really cool. It's a great way to give those different modifiers into the game without it feeling cheesy, especially since everybody in the match can use them. It's not just a teammate or just a solo thing. If you see paint on the ground or a wall or something, you can use it. And what's really cool is you can combine the paint effects together. So if you see like a speed paint on the ground and you throw a jump paint on it, you will get both of the effects when you sit on those paints. Woo! Good job, team. I was no help to you guys at all. I see you, buddy. Where did he go? Oh, so yeah, paint is a really cool mechanic. It honestly didn't feel cheap at all. It was very, very good. The game also has a grapple hook. That's your main tactical ability, I guess you could say. And it works kind of similar to the Titanfall grapple hook. It has a little bit of momentum stuff in it. It is going to kind of depend where you look as to how your grapple will work. It's definitely not as hardcore as Titanfall's though. Your grapple experience will really change depending on how you swing and how you're looking while you swing. The Empulse one is not like that. You sort of go where your grapple is, but you can still manipulate it. It's not like the Black Ops 4 grapple. It's actually good. There also doesn't seem to be a way to cancel your grapple. You kind of just have to go through the whole animation, but that's okay because I think you can shoot while grappling. It's hard to remember because again, I couldn't record any gameplay for you all, but I think you can shoot while grappling. Now, let me talk about the weapons of the game. The way that loadouts work is a little interesting. So you have your paint, you always get a grapple, and then in terms of guns, you just have a primary and you have a secondary axe. So your primary is basically any of the primary weapons that you could get in something like Titanfall or Black Ops or whatever. You have your basic assault rifle, your SMG, your LMG, your shotgun, but you also have some really cool ones in there. The coolest weapons in the game are definitely the explosive SMG. It has very slow bullet velocity rounds, but they do splash damage. It's very cool. And then the LMG in the game is actually a little burst fire. So you do like 2 or 3 bullet bursts automatically. It's a really cool weapon. Now, what I wasn't able to play with was a bolt action sniper. The closest I got to that was the DMR carbine, but there wasn't really a sniper weapon. I hope that they add that in early access. Also, your secondary weapon was really fun. But you basically just ran around with an axe and you got a little bit of a movement speed boost and you could just bash people. It was so much fun. And the way that the gunplay works is kind of like Halo, where you cannot ADS, only hipfire and then a slightly zoomed hipfire. There is also mechs in the game.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Get him! Oh! Oh well, that would have been fun. Now, the way mechs work is very differently than Titanfall. The closest Titan I think the mechs are like is Ion. So you have a kind of assault rifle-ish weapon. Oh shit, I just pressed pause on accident. You have a machine gun, you have a rocket, and you have a shield that you can pull up by pressing left bumper. I think that the gameplay of the mech is kind of fun, but to me, it just doesn't have a lot of aura to it. Like, it kind of just spawns on the map and you enter it. There's no really cool entrance animation like you just saw with me entering Ion. Whenever you die, you just kind of die. Like, you immediately go into a kill replay. GG, guys. Hey, I finally got Generation 2 on my R201. I started over in this game since I popped onto Steam instead of the Xbox version. The Xbox version of Titanfall was the one that I played the most. I was at least Gen 3 in that game, probably a little bit higher than that. I think I Gen 2'd most of my weapons, and I got through like half of the Titans. But it's been kind of fun starting from scratch. Ooh, I got the kill counter. You know what? I gotta put that on. I know it says weapon XP count, but I think you get an XP per kill in this game, so it is effectively a kill screen. I'm just gonna start talking here while I search because it's taken a while to find a match. The maps in the game are pretty cool. They aren't as intricate or crazy as Titanfall's maps because Titanfall is an 8v8 game, not a 6v6. I'd say they are similar to Black Ops 3 if they had more verticality, if that makes any sense. They actually felt a little bit like Infinite Warfare maps. Of course, you had the freedom to do whatever you wanted with your movement, but there were clear pathways that the game kind of lays out for you to take if you wish. But you can go crazier. Obviously, if you're new to the movement shooter, there are places that will be very clear to you where to wall run, where to slide, etc. The maps also have these jump pads, and they kind of work like the finals jump pads, except your momentum is actually conserved through them. If you do something like a speed paint or a jump paint, it's going to affect how you launch off the pads. That actually did kill me once though. I like that they actually are affected and use momentum and not just a stationary get from one point to the other, because those are kind of boring to me. And I like that in the finals you can kind of manipulate how they work, but you can definitely do way more with these ones in Empulse. I think that's all I have to say about what I liked about the game. So now let me get into what I disliked. So first of all, and this is probably my biggest point, the mechs need more aura. just in general, they need to be menacing and badass. And right now, they kind of aren't. They just spawn in as power weapons on the map, which is fine. Like, that's how Empulse wants to do it. That's cool. They don't have to copy Titanfall in that way. But you just enter the mech by holding a button, and that's it. There is no cool animation of you getting shoved into the mech by it or anything. You just kind of pop in there, and there you go. And then whenever you die, it goes straight to, like, the spectating cam. You don't have this crazy, humiliating, explosive death like you do in Titanfall. And right now, I don't think the game has any kind of executions in it. That could be a really cool thing to add, guys. Take some inspiration from Titanfall and from the newer CODs and give us some executions, because they are really, really cool. And this is a point that I don't know if 1047 will do, but the Titans in Titanfall 2 are just so soulful. Each of them have their own unique kit. They all have their own unique personality to them. They all look drastically different and appeal to completely different play styles. Right now, the mechs don't do that. The second bit of negative feedback I have, and this kind of applies to the whole aura thing I was talking about, is just the look of the maps and, in a way, the characters too. I feel like everything is too sterile for the idea they're going for, because they're kind of going for this like grungy feel where you're kind of off the grid doing your own thing. And right now, the maps just feel way too clean. In those past two Titanfall matches, you could just see the dirt and the grime everywhere and how old the walls were, how the material were starting to degrade a little bit. You don't really get that in Empulse, or at least I didn't. Everything felt very clean. Hey, speaking of clean, we just got a new match. Beautiful. And it's Bounty Hunt. I love Bounty Hunt. So 1047, take some inspiration from Titanfall 2 and give us some more just grimy, dusty look to the maps. Also, entrance animations would be really cool. Kind of like what we have here. And now that I'm playing another mode, I should probably talk about the modes. I would have loved to put this in the positive, but I've got to put them in the negative, and here's why. The modes just don't have very good visual indicators. You see how here, we have a DZ, it's super easy to see, they tell you how far away it is, you know exactly what you're supposed to do. That's not really the case in Empulse. I played 3 modes. There were 4 available, but I could only play 3 of them. I just never got a match with the 4th one. One of them is Team Deathmatch. That one's pretty basic. Doesn't need any kind of crazy visual indicators. All that you need is the indicator for the mech, and that was there, and that was fine. The other 2 modes I have some gripes with. One of them was called Intel, and this one was kind of like Oddball, where you had an objective, and you had to hold it for a certain period of time to score a point for your team. Unfortunately, whenever I played that mode, I didn't even know that was the objective. I saw that there was a ball on the map, I saw something about intercepting and something about escorting, but there was nowhere to escort the ball to. And there was nowhere on the map that I was supposed to stop the enemy getting. I thought it was gonna be something like Uplink from Black Ops 3 and from Advanced Warfare. But nope, it was just holding the ball to score. But they did not make that very obvious. And even when I was holding the ball, maybe there was something that was telling me that I was about to score, but I just didn't get it. So maybe instead of it being like 5 points to win in an allotted period of time, maybe they should make it a little more like Oddball where you just gain a point a second. Or there just needs to be a better visual indicator about what the ball is. Because I was confused the whole match. Let me go cash in this upload bonus. Oh, shoot! Oh! Let's go. I accidentally pressed pause again. I think this is maybe my 2nd game played with my Steam controller, so I'm still getting used to where the buttons are, but the back buttons have felt insanely good on this. The other mode that I played that wasn't Team Deathmatch was called Capture the Mech, and this mode was supposed to be Capture the Flag, but with your mechs. So each team had a mech on both sides, and you had to bring it over to the other side to score. My issue with the mode is I thought it was kind of like Oddball, where you had to just basically play keep away with your mechs to score points. That's not how it worked. There were actually capture zones on both sides of the map, except they weren't marked. So I didn't even know that when I had my mech, I was supposed to bring it somewhere, until I actually went to the side and I saw this orange ring and I was like, what could that be for? Well, it was for capturing the mech. So definitely work on the visual indicators for the modes, but I think the actual ideas of them are sick. Ah! Oh, I'm getting executed. Oh, that's brutal. See, if I died like that in Empulse, I would have a legit reaction and it would have been amazing. But right now, you just kind of go poof. The last thing in the game that I think needs work, and this also does kind of tie along with the whole I need more aura in my maps kind of thing, is I would like to see a better distinction in visual identity than Splitgate, and maybe even in feel. Because right now, there is like wall running, there's mechs, there's the paint mechanic, and that's all very unique stuff, right? But the core gameplay of Empulse is very, very similar to Splitgate. If you've played Arena Reloaded, you already know what like 80% of Empulse feels like, just in terms of core movement. And I feel like it needs to be a little bit different. That's not because I dislike it. Splitgate Arena Reloaded has been my main shooter since like January. But I hate to say it, it needs to be different. You already have a huge community that was lost on you because of Splitgate 2's horrible beta launch. And from what I see, not many people came back to Arena Reloaded. There's still a core niche audience that loves Arena Reloaded and keeps playing it to this day, but it's not bringing a lot of new people in. The shield, by the way, does not act like Ion's Vortex shield. It just absorbs damage. You don't repel it back. And honestly, the main way I think you can make this game feel really different than Splitgate is by adding an ADS. I know you guys don't really want to do it, but it does definitely change how the aiming feels in the game, and that might be what's necessary to really differentiate this from Splitgate. If you want to keep the niche audience of Splitgate, that's fine, but if your goal is to actually expand and get a ton of money from this, you gotta make it different than Splitgate. Oh, shoot. Oh, let's go. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Oh, and now the bank's closed. Oh, shoot. See, I never got a moment like this inside of Empulse because to me, the modes just didn't make sense on first go. So a lot of people just didn't really know what they were doing. I'm scared. I can't believe I got killed by the bot. But yeah, those are kind of my three main complaints with the game. The mechs need to be more powerful and more badass. The modes need to have better visual indication on what you're doing. And the game needs to have a really distinct visual identity. But that's basically it. The actual game feels amazing to play. And whenever this game goes into early access, I want all of you Titanfall fans to play it. Because these devs want feedback. They do not want another Splitgate 2 situation. They're gonna take this game like they did Splitgate back in early 2018, back when we were on the old game and back before the console launch. That's why they're launching this into early access, is to get our feedback and to actually take action about it and not launch the game in a half-assed state. And I really hope they do, because this game has a ton of potential and I don't want it to go to waste. Honestly, I love 1047. They're an amazing company. They've just had a bunch of stumbles along the way. Some of it is their fault, some of it isn't. No! The stupid sentry. Gosh dang it. It spawned me right next to it! Are you kidding me? Dude, all my money destroyed in like a minute. And that's just how Bounty Hunt is. And honestly, I should have fire-starred that sentry. That would have been the smart play. So, Empulse launches in early access on June 24th. And the way that 1047 is going to do monetization is actually really good, and I wish that they did this with Splitgate Arena Reloaded. The game is going to launch for, I think, around $30. Post-commentary Shubb here again. It was actually revealed to be $20 after our playtest. And it is not going to have any microtransactions in it. It is just the game for 30 bucks, and you get to play it as much as you want. They'll have updates coming out fast and frequent. That all sounds really, really good. And I think there's a lot of people like me that are just tired of the live service model. We don't want to go through another battle pass. We don't want $20 and $30 bundles shoved in our faces. We just want to buy a game and play it and have fun. And so many of these new video games just don't get that. Even the newest Call of Duties, they used to be amazing at player retention, right? But now it's all about the daily challenges and the weekly challenges and the camo events and the limited time events and the leaderboard challenges. And you gotta beat your battle pass before the end of the month or else all your content goes away. It's so stupid. And I'm so glad that Empulse isn't doing that. They're actually respecting our time and respecting our money, and I'm so happy about that. I really hope that the progression for the game takes cues from Titanfall 2, because the progression in this game is pretty good. Oh, you're so cooked, buddy. You're so cooked. Die. I think I'm gonna go upload my money. Keep watch, Ion. Even though it launches in early access, you actually will be able to play the game for free during Steam Next Fest. So June 15th, Please download the game. Please play it. I will be there. I will be enjoying it so much. Because truly, it has a bunch of differences from Titanfall. And yes, I have my gripes with it. But it is the closest thing I think we're ever going to get to Titanfall. Unless Shadow Rush comes out like really soon and really knocks it out of the park. Because that game is basically a clone of Titanfall. But Empulse is doing its own thing. And that's okay. Because it's honestly doing it really well. They just need to make a couple of graphical and balance tweaks and the game will be awesome. I even got a couple of kill streaks during that little playtest. I had so much fun during that playtest. It was great. I'm so sorry, Ion. She even said Protocol 3 to me. Thank you to 1047 for letting me into that Empulse playtest. I had a really fun time with it, and I so wish I could share some gameplay with you, because I truly had such a great time. Dude, this charge rifle's kind of popping off. Ah, shoot. That's what I get for saying that. We're so close to winning, guys. Oh, the music was fire, too. Come on. Go. Upload. Yes! Woo! GG. Good games, everybody. The game is definitely very different than Titanfall, though. It shares some bones, but overall, it does play quite differently. With how the maps are, with how the mechs spawn in, it's its own experience. I don't think it's going to replace Titanfall 2 for me, but it sure will be a fun time regardless. I play Splitgate on the daily, because again, it's an amazing shooter. Empulse definitely is more about the movement, though. Their tagline is not wrong. Movement is freedom. And for 9 days, the game will be free. So please join me in playing that on June 15th. And then hopefully I'll see you for early access June 24th. 1047. You guys have a great game on your hands. I know you guys can make something amazing, so please don't prove me wrong. Give the game a little bit of an art patch up, make the mechs actually powerful, a bit more like the Titanfall Titans, and just make sure your game is more readable. That's it. And I, of course, will be back on Titanfall 2 very soon. I've actually got a couple of gameplays from back when this game was on sale earlier in the year. Hopefully it goes on sale soon, so those can be a bit more timely, but I really love this game and I'm going to keep playing it even when Empulse comes out. I'll just be playing both, and that'll be perfectly fine. As always, stay positive, have confidence, utilize your passion, believe in yourself, and be yourself. See ya!